in my opinion. I grew up in a really large family in a fairly poor neighborhood.
It was a really great
I'm,
book.
I'm,
And a movie. And the movie.
yeah.
Right?
And it
Yeah.
is all about energy and your beliefs and how you can recreate
What you
Yes.
see, what you want to, create. Hello, everybody.
Hey, welcome. We are so excited to be here this evening with all of you. We have a special guest. So before we do that, let's get some stuff out of the way. I am Coach Rochelle Schwartz, and I have been coaching way over 23 years. And we are certified in relationship coaching, and we do spiritual and emotional education. That's what we teach. And we are so excited to do this podcast together. We rise because it's all about people coming in with their stories and how they've gotten through a lot of their stuff. And it just shows so much about all of us. And now, my next lady here.
So I'm Alicia Schwartz. And again, I have been coaching for over 23 years as well as a relationship coach, trained and certified by the Ford Institute. And we really are excited to have this next guest. We always have amazing people, but this person is very special to us. She's amazing, and you're going to learn more about her and what she's all about.
And her event coming up.
And her event, which we are fortunate enough to be,
yes,
on.
She always has us. There must be something extraordinary about us that this lady wants us. We've shared many, many, intimate moments. And she is like, it's an honor to have this lovely lady with us tonight. And her name is Elaine
Sugar.
Come on down.
Come on in.
Hello, ladies. Please tell me you can hear me.
I can.
Yes.
Woohoo.
We got you, babe.
Celebrate the small things.
That's right. Well, welcome. So we wanted to ask you to share a little bit about who you are, what you're up to in the world, and, anything that you can share with the people out there about what you're doing. It's so powerful.
It's so fabulous.
Thank you. And I'm so glad you all invited me, giving me this space. And whenever people ask me to tell them about myself, I feel like I owe so much of who I am to my parents. So I like to start out by saying that I am the daughter of two of the most phenomenal people who have ever walked the face of the earth, in my opinion. So I grew up in a really large family in a fairly poor neighborhood. But I say I grew up in one of the wealthiest homes in the world because of the loving environment, the nurturing environment that my parents created. Instilled a wonderful value system in me, respect for other human beings, and just how to live life in a way that you can be proud of yourself and the things that you do. You feel good about it. So that is what leads and guides so many of my decisions. So that's very much the person that I am today. I love coming from a large family. I love team and collaborative type activities and events. And that's maybe why I'm so fond of you, because I get two of you. I'm so used to, I love teams.
Yeah.
You two, I get a pair of you. So that's part of the appeal. I get two for the price of one.
We got it, but we're a high price.
That's right. And you're worth it.
Thank you.
And
Thank
so
you.
are you.
Yeah. And so probably the more standard answer is telling you about what I do. So my background is in the financial industry. However, early in my career, I started working with children. So I love facilitating children's programs, especially self-esteem building programs. I've moved into positivity, teaching them the power of positive thinking and speaking, learning how to use affirmations. And that somehow grew into a wellness organization, nonprofit organization that collaborates with people from around the world that value and understand the importance of wellness. And we collaborate so that we can extend our reach out there into the world. So that's who I am, and that's what I do.
Well, that's a pretty big order. I will say that.
Huge.
And so before we even get into it, I always pick a card before
Okay.
we start. So the card that we picked was, and this is what it says: I know that my future self will thank me for the hard work. And at the bottom, it says, I am doing the work. And guess what, love? You
Can't
are
really see.
doing the work.
It's hard to see,
Oh,
But
that's beautiful. It's actually very encouraging.
isn't it? It
Yes, because
really is.
sometimes when I'm doing the work, I feel like, are you crazy for doing this work?
and
So it's good to know it's going to all pay off in the end.
and it
Yes, it
will.
will. It really will. You've put your heart and your soul into this work. But when you introduced yourself, Elaine,
Hmm.
and how you introduced yourself really touched my heart, because not a lot of people, at least I feel, can actually say that they had two parents, not one, but two. And what you gained, even though you weren't rich, but there was so much richness in your home,
Yes.
and the tools that you walked away with. And now
And
that I hear that, I become very honored, because many a times you've said to me, sometimes you sound like my mother.
Yes, I have. Yes.
So it's an honor. It really is. And I love, love, love where you come from. It shows in every conversation. You have to be that special to create this kind of a event, a nonprofit for children, for adults, and the speakers, and the people coming together are all in alignment with who you are, because you're at the top.
You know, I tell people all the time, I'm definitely not doing this by myself. Every day, even as recent as an hour ago, someone shows up to help. And that is really the beauty of this community. It's amazing. It really is. And I'm very grateful. I tell people all the time, we have wonderful people in this global wellness community. We really do.
yeah. And the other thing I was thinking of when my mom was talking to you about how amazing your parents were, it's so powerful and perfect that you would be working with children to give them what you learned by being in that kind of environment with your parents and how rich that was.
Yes, I absolutely love children, and I have learned so much from them. One of the funny things that I learned from children is I can actually continue to talk to you even if you look totally annoyed. Like the two of you could roll your eyes, you could turn backwards, and I could still deliver my interview.
Isn't that
They taught
amazing?
me to have thick skin.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can tell me you're bored, and I'll just keep doing this interview.
That's so great, isn't it? Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, I heard that so many times. Miss Sugar, this is boring. This is boring. I'm, I'm not even gonna pretend like they always love everything we do, but we deliver it with love anyway. They endure it.
And you know what? I learned this too because I had a very special teacher growing up, because I had a learning disability. And my teacher,
Oh,
Joyce Packman, at the time, was very influential in my early elementary school years. And the one thing I always remember about Joyce is that she was tough, she was
mm-hmm,
stern, but she
mm-hmm.
came from such love. I mean,
Oh,
her
yes.
devotion and love was why I am where
Mhm.
I am today. So what
Beautiful.
you're giving to these kids, even if they don't, because trust me, I was like that kid, like, don't tell me what to do. I
Hmm.
don't want to
Hmm.
hear it. And it didn't matter because my point is later on in life, those kids are
Yes.
going to remember what Miss Sugar said, and it's
Yes.
going to make a difference. It really
Yeah,
does.
it is so wonderful to see some of them who've grown up and they just, now have their own children and they just tell you that they still remember, the things you taught them and being in the program. So it really is touching when you run into them and they let you know that you've had a positive impact
Yeah.
on their life. It really is. It was so funny. I had one little girl. Well, she's not a little girl anymore, but she was a little girl when she was in my program. But I met her downtown. She was working downtown, and she says, I have to confess to you that I didn't live in that neighborhood. I was teaching at like a community organization. She said, I didn't live in that neighborhood. I just wanted to be in your program. So I got one of the parents who live around there to sign my.
That
I
is
thought that was hilarious.
so
That is
funny.
hilarious.
Yes,
Wow.
so yeah, you're right. You never know. That's why we all keep doing the wonderful work that we do,
That's
the
it.
beautiful work that the two of you do. I've seen you in action and absolutely want you always to be a part of these
Well,
events. So
you got
people
us.
do
So
Well,
appreciate it.
well, we are
we're
just as
honored.
appreciative as you are because it's a
Yes.
lot of fun being with you and the community
Yes.
that you've created. Amazing people in your
Yes.
life.
Feeling is mutual, dear.
Yes. Woohoo! So let's get to these questions. A couple
So
of questions.
Fire away.
what what's the biggest lesson that you learned about yourself through all of this?
That I can actually move forward in the dark if it feels like the right thing to do. I don't know that I realize that about myself because I like to be organized. I like details. I'm a person that has a lot of questions. When the idea came to me to host this global wellness event, it's not something that I had experience in. It was basically me responding to the outcry that I was hearing that people were struggling, adults and children, with how to handle the pandemic and how to handle not seeing your friends and being shut in and the financial strain and all of those things. And it just really pierced my heart.
Mm,
And I know so many people like Rochelle and Alicia who have studied and learned how to help people heal. They know that there are all these different modalities that could be used to help people through difficult times and to help them elevate their life to where they want it to be. And knowing that these people exist and knowing there were people struggling, I was just so uh, determined that it doesn't make sense for people to struggle and be searching for answers when there are people here who can help. And even though I didn't know how to host a global wellness event, and this was not my background, I was all right moving in the dark. And I didn't realize that because normally I have a lot of questions. I like answers, I like organization. And this wasn't organized, and I couldn't see, you know, all of the ends of the road because I was in new territory. But I learned that I can keep moving forward as long as it feels like it's a good thing and it's a right thing for me to do. I didn't have all the answers. I still don't have all the answers.
Don't you feel like it's a work in progress? Like it's just you're learning
Absolutely.
all the time,
You're,
right?
yep, you're
Yes.
growing, and you have such great people who are there to help you. I
Yes.
mean, they're wonderful. The people that I have come in contact with, I mean, really, they're beautiful people.
Yeah. A
This
reflection of you.
community is really filled with very talented, passionate, heart centered experts. It
Yeah.
really is.
It's such a when I see the people that are connected, and I know from the first, MAPS event
Yes.
and where
It's
you are
very different.
today,
It's really unbelievable.
amazing. Do you see the difference in yourself with the whole process?
You know what I think has really helped? So there are some people who went with me in the dark, right? When you all first met me, we had never done this before. and we wanted to host this 7-day global wellness event and bring all these experts from around the world together just to give the gift of wellness and knowledge and uplift to the world. I think because of brave souls like you, now we can show people what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
this year, when we said, hey, we're hey, this is what we did last year. And we know now what we did last year. So now we know how to do that, and we can focus on elevating it and making it better. So the fact that we have alumni, the fact that we have the founders who were willing to present and be a part of that original event, we got so many lessons in there. Some of them were painful lessons, and some of them were really cool and fun.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. So, and then beautifully said, because that is so true. Because this event's gonna be totally
It's
epic.
epic.
Epic. That's what I said when we were getting interviewed. Epic event.
Yes.
Really amazing.
Yes, I agree because we have epic people in the community.
And that's correct. So, here's the next question for you. I feel like Jeopardy. Next question. If God could speak to you, if God could speak to you, what's the message he wants you to know today?
This might be the most inarticulate response that a guest will ever give you in the history of your show. But we've always been real with each other. The message he would give me is, you don't get the message yet, do you?
That's
You
great.
know, Oprah, I
Authentic.
remember
That's
watching
what
Oprah
it's
Winfrey.
about.
Yeah, and she said, sometimes God throws pebbles, and if you don't get it, then he'll throw a rock. And if you need to, he'll throw a boulder. I can just tell you that this was laid on my heart during the pandemic, and I still cannot tell you where this is supposed to go, what the end looks like. And I ask him sometimes, like, okay, what do you want me to do here? And sometimes different people show up, different opportunities show up. Is it supposed to turn into this? Is this supposed? So I think right now he knows that I don't know. So his message to me would be, you still need to figure it out. So that's what I'm doing.
And if you think about it, it's funny because if you think about it, that's where you started, not knowing anything. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And look what's come through not
Yes.
knowing. So it's only going to
Yes.
get better not knowing.
Yeah, and we are open to different things. One of the things we're looking into is right now it's about this annual event and all of the wellness experts and wellness organizations that come together to offer this free event to the world. And so there's no reason, it's all virtual, so there's no reason for people not to attend and come and be enlightened. Um, but what we are open to and what we're starting is looking at forming an international wellness alliance. So we have these wellness organizations that we already partner with annually to host this event. So what we're looking at is we can accomplish this event once a year by collaborating. What could we do to improve the wellness industry? What could we do to expand all of our reach if we come together and form a global wellness alliance? So, after this event is over, that will be at the forefront of one of the things we're pursuing. But right now, I'm just open.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I wanted? It just came to me. I think at this moment, what's important for people to know, how do they get in? What do they do to sign up,
Register.
register? Because that's important now. And then we'll give it at the end.
Yeah, the
Sure.
steps.
So the event is the Global Wellness and Positivity Experience. And you can go to vibrantlivingsummit.com. There's free registration. There are event details. And again, it's a full week. So we kick it off with a really powerful show. We start with a brief 9/11 tribute. It's beautifully done. I must say, it wasn't done by me, but members of our community. It's a beautiful tribute. And then we have several people who share their stories of situations that challenged them, but their survival and how they overcame. And then we also move into 90-minute concert, very eclectic range from opera, classical music, soft rock. It's really a wide variety of music. And it's just you sit back, enjoy, be enlightened and uplifted.
Oh, so exciting. Can't even
And
wait.
then all week we're doing presentations from experts, a huge array of topics. Every day we're pausing for an hour and we're doing networking. So you can come into the Zoom room and grow your network, collaborate with people around the world. And then we close with a beautiful quantum healing keynote concert by Mark Romero. It is the most relaxing, therapeutic thing. You have to come at the close and just sit there and have the experience of what he provides.
Well,
We can't wait.
that's
It's going to
awesome.
be amazing.
That
Yeah.
is
And
cool.
how did I forget about our children?
Yes.
So most of the presentations are going to be aimed at adults, older teenagers could definitely follow. But on Saturday, we run two Zoom rooms, and there's one that's devoted to what we call adult child emotional intelligence play day, where we have things that are directly designed for young children. We did that last year. We're going to have puppies and parrots that are going to talk to kids and teach them affirmations, and we're going to have horses come live on
Oh,
Oh
Zoom
my gosh.
and
wow.
talk about love and healing.
Oh,
So we have a huge variety of things for young children. And then from noon to 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, we have a teen mini youth summit. So the teenagers are going to get together
that's
and
amazing.
learn some valuable lessons and have some fun.
Yeah.
Well, I think the whole thing is about learning
Yeah.
and
Growing.
growing and having fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
all
And
combined.
and walking away filled up with
Yeah.
such inspiration that you want to
Yeah.
go out in the world and like
That's right.
just,
Yeah.
do what you want to do,
Yes.
whatever that
Yeah.
is.
It's
Whatever.
about vibrant living. That's our landing page. Vibrant Living Summit. It's to help you
I
live a
love
more
the name.
vibrant life.
That's
It's
fabulous.
awesome.
That's just fabulous, really. So the next question is, what's the one thing you want people to know about Elaine Sugar?
Hmm. So there's just one.
Well, you could do more.
You know, I would say know that I might not always get it right. I won't always get it right, but I mean well. Charge the errors to my humanity and not my heart. That's what I would say.
That's beautiful.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is really good. I like that answer too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's to make up for the one where you asked me what would God's message be. You can edit that answer out.
Yeah. No, we're not going to do that because you're just who you are and we love it. So, what was your biggest struggle in your life and how did you overcome it?
Because I think that's a really good
Because,
question.
yeah.
People want to know the struggles, but they also want to know the wins.
Yeah, and it's important
Yeah.
that's what this podcast is about. It's about showing what you struggled through and how you got to the other side of it. How'd you
Yeah,
overcome
definitely. I would say caring for my mother and watching her decline as
it?
she suffered with dementia.
Mm,
That was a big struggle, and it was also really challenging to balance continuing to give her as much freedom and independence as
mm,
she could enjoy and keep her safe at the same time.
Yeah.
So you don't want to, get a diagnosis of dementia and then do everything for the person. They lose their independence, you take everything away. So that was really a balancing act to
Mm.
actually just try to step her through. All right, at this point, you need someone to come in and cook for you. At this point, you need someone to do this. At this point, you need to go to an assisted living. At this point, you need to move to nursing. So that process, that was really, first of all, it was challenging to watch someone who always took care of you needing this care. So that was
Yeah.
one thing. Um, and then just knowing that there was decline, like the person is eventually not going to remember your name. They're not, may not remember you. So yeah, that process, that was definitely the most challenging thing.
Mm.
Wow.
And how do you feel you overcame it?
I told myself that I should be in the moment. So if you're afraid and sad that you're going to lose moments like these in the future, when you can be in the moment, be present. And
Mm.
so I was very present when her and I didn't live in the same place. So when I would go home, my embrace, I would be there in the moment,
Mm.
uh, doing things together, going out to dinner. I just reminded myself to be in the moment and cherish those times. And then the other thing that helped me was realizing what was important. So I used to tell people, when I would visit her and come back to work, one of the first things people would ask me was, "Did she remember you?" And when it got to the point where she didn't, I realized right now that's not the most important thing. It's my time to take care of her. And I say me, my whole family,
Mm.
took care of her. But that's what I would tell myself. You prioritize. The most important thing now is for me to take care of her.
Yeah.
So it's not the most important thing that she doesn't remember me. I remember her. And
Mm.
so,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That was
To be able
very well
to,
said.
yeah, to be able to step outside.
see, I'm making up for that God question.
But what's nice is that, you were able to step outside yourself and your own emotionality around it
Yeah.
because it's your mom, you're so close, and you took that out of the equation and you just focused on what she needed, which is
Yeah.
huge.
And you know what I say about dementia? I say if it's not funny sometimes, you are not doing it right.
Mm.
So there were times where I felt like she was about to drive me batty, and there were times I know I was driving her batty. One day she wanted me to go and do something for her that required me to go out of her room, and she wanted me to go instead of the direction of the door, she wanted me to go in the direction of a solid wall. So I'm trying to say, I can't go that way. There's no door that way. And
Yeah.
it went on so long. I just found said, all right, let me try. So we have fun
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
just yeah.
That's great. That's a beautiful illustration on your struggle through and getting to the other side of it.
Yeah,
And
and I think whenever people are going through things, I think it's important to use the resources that are around you. And if you don't know where they are, find them. I called the Alzheimer's Association and I received advice there. I talked to other people who had dealt with it. I had my family members that I could talk to. I looked up things on the internet. I looked at videos on YouTube. You just do things to arm yourself and learn how to cope. And honestly, at one of the facilities she stayed in, they gave us the best advice. They said she's to the point now where things that are not our reality are her reality.
Yeah.
So when she's telling you that something happened that didn't happen in her world, it happened. And she's experiencing everything that goes along with that. So
wow.
they said, if her reality is not harming her or someone else, then don't fight with her.
Yeah.
If she thinks that there's, a door over there on that wall and it doesn't hurt anybody, then let her think that. Don't try to straighten her out and constantly tell her no, things are this way.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always easy. I would have to catch myself. We went to a buffet one time and I fixed her plate and sat her down at the table and she just went in with her hands. I mean, she was tearing this food up. It was like she hadn't eaten in days. And I'm looking around and she's starting to spill food on the side of the plate. And I was like, Mom, you use your fork. And she looked at me and looked at the fork. And I, demonstrated like, do, like this. And
Uh,
Right.
so she started concentrating and she started eating, but it took focus and you could tell that that joy,
Mm.
that excitement that she was just experiencing was gone.
Uh,
So I was like, you know what? Put the fork down and do what you were doing before. I will clean up the table when we finish. And
yeah.
so let her enjoy her meal. It
You
is not
know,
the end of the world to see a grown person eating with their fingers.
no.
Didn't kill anyone. And I tidied up when we left and she enjoyed herself.
Aw.
and you know what's so great? It's letting go,
Yeah.
just surrendering and letting it go,
Hmm.
and letting her do her thing.
That's right.
That's the best. That I think that is the best thing that you could have done for her.
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
funny too, because the other part of us, the other part that's like, oh my God, what are people,
Yes.
what are they going to say?
Right.
All that dialogue that goes on
That's
that
right.
keeps the joy from the experience. So,
That's right.
that's an amazing experience to have to use for the rest of your life, for you
That's right.
personally. Like just hearing that is amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
So,
we had some fun times. We had some misses too.
I'm
We
sure.
had some, uh-oh, wait a minute, something's wrong. I was at work one day and my brother called me. Someone in the neighborhood said, I see your mother walking down the street and she doesn't look right. I've never seen her outside dressed the way she's looking, and she's looking a little bit disoriented.
Mm.
So, needless to say, the next day I was on a plane and I was like, all right, it's time for us to transition to some assisted living.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yes. Well, those are beautiful. And
That
we
it
thank you
really,
for
we
sharing
really
that.
thank you, because
And I'm
those are
sure
beautiful.
people that are listening, if they have a parent
Yeah.
or someone in their family that has dementia, these are great ways to work with someone that does have it. So you're
Yeah.
giving
Yeah.
And
someone
the information that you're
great
giving.
ways. Yeah.
Yes. So the other question would be, what advice would you give to your youngest self?
A little Elaine Sugar, a little Elaine Sugar.
I think a lot. I flip things inside out. I go through all these different scenarios, and that could sometimes lead to a lot of worrying and stress. And so I would say examine it all, but don't inhale it all. I take it all in and go through the experience of, if this happens, oh my goodness, that will be horrible. And then I start feeling that experience. Was if I can stand back sometimes and just benefit from my brain throwing out all these different scenarios, but not take my emotion and not take my worry and my stress through that whole cycle, because those scenarios haven't happened yet. And so I'm kind of putting myself through some stress and strain that's not necessary, doesn't need to exist. So I think I would tell myself to learn to separate my examination and my anxiety. They
Mm,
don't have to be coupled together. So I've definitely lost some sleep over some things that I didn't need to lose sleep over.
great.
You go, baby. You're
You're
next. She's next. I just, you know what it is? When you're so young and going through this journey of life, it's so interesting that when we look back in retrospect, the things that really pissed us off, is so angry and
Yes.
mad, basically, not that it didn't mean anything, but
Hmm.
we look at that, it could be one or two things. It could be opportunities to look at,
Hmm.
or it could be things that we looked at that weren't really important. And we
Yes.
made it like a huge, huge story around it.
Yes.
And that's really, and that's how stories get
Started.
created.
Hmm. So true.
Exactly.
So true. So this is always a great question because everybody has a different book that's inspired them. You know,
Mm,
changed your life. So, what book inspired you so much that changed your life for the better?
The Secret.
The
I
Secret.
So true.
really
Wow.
enjoyed that.
What did you
Yeah.
enjoy about it?
Yeah. What
You
was it?
know, it was actually a really good reminder at the point that I read it because a lot of the points that were stressed in that book, my parents had stressed those points when I was young.
Really?
And the time that that book came out, I was early in my career. I was finished college, and it was probably, yeah, a pretty a decent amount of years in the corporate world at that point. And so I think it was for me a reflection and remembering the power in the things that they had taught me, remembering how I could draw on those things to get me to a better place in life. So I think the timing of it, it was a very powerful reminder. And it also gave me an opportunity to use it to make some changes and
Mm,
accomplish some of the things I wanted to accomplish.
yeah. Wow. I mean, it. It was a really great
I'm,
book
I'm,
and a movie, The
yeah.
Secret
Yeah,
movie, right?
And it
Yeah.
is all about energy and your beliefs and how you can recreate
What
what
you
you.
yes,
see, what you want to, create, you can do
that's
it.
right.
You feel it. Yep. It's amazing.
How many siblings do you have?
So I have four brothers and four sisters, and then I lost one sister, so now I have three. So I
And
was the youngest of nine children, and I always tell people I loved it.
It reminds me of that eight is enough. Remember
yeah,
that
Yeah.
show?
Oh, yes. It was everything they said it is. I loved being the baby of the family.
I can
amazing.
relate.
Now, your siblings all obviously come from the same parents, correct?
Yes.
So if I asked them these questions, it would be kind of similar, do you think?
I think in a lot of ways, but I will tell you, being the youngest, my parents were tired by the time I came along. So they would tell you, oh, we would have never gotten away with that. And we would
Okay.
have never been able to say. So it's definitely different. And yeah, I think the experiences, the um I think my parents definitely were more strict with the first children, and so yeah, I definitely think we would have some differences, but all understand that we're very fortunate to have the parents that we have. So
And you're all close, your siblings?
yes, yes, we are all fairly close. That's how they raised us.
That's awesome.
That's really what a
Well, I
testament
think
to
like
them.
everybody takes care of each other. When you have such
Yeah,
a big family like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
right? Would you say
Yep.
that's true?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that stress, the stress that my father placed on us having unity and looking out for each other is because of his experience as a child. His father left his mother with either seven or eight children.
Wow.
And so therefore he became like the father figure in the family. And
Okay.
so when I would talk to his sisters, my aunts, they always had this admiration and respect that they paid to him. They said he was our protector because when father left, he was, became like the unofficial man of the family.
Yeah.
And so I think for him keeping that family, keeping his siblings, protecting them, made him want to help us understand how important it is for us to be that way with our siblings. And it doesn't mean you always agree. I mean, my brothers and sisters will tell you I talk too much, I'm bossy, I'm whiny. but they love me.
What's there not to love?
That's so
That's
true.
right.
Boy, is that the truth.
That's
I
right.
Well, we always kind of end with a prayer, so to speak. We picked from a book, which is
Okay.
Your Holiness. This was Debbie Ford, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. My mom picked this, and this was a perfect kind of segue into everything you've kind of said tonight.
Okay.
It's always perfect. We always pick the perfect thing
always.
for each person. It's so funny how divine it is. So here it is. And if you want to
This is
close
for
your eyes
you.
and I can read it to you or keep your eyes open, whatever feels right for you.
Okay.
So the prayer is the daily ritual of prayer. So this is what it says. Let the light of God flow through my heart, my mind, my body, and my soul. Let me open up to all of God's love. For when I'm wrapped in her arms or his arms, I am one with my beloved.
And just breathe
So
that
breathe it
in.
in.
That is beautiful.
And again, let everybody know when the summit is starting. The Global Delicious Maps Summit is starting on
September 11th, and it's going through September 17th. It starts on a Sunday and ends on a Saturday
And
oh my
again, they
God.
can register. You just
at
should.
vibrantlivingsummit.com. Register one time and you have full access to the entire event, including the opening and closing concerts and everything in between. Oh, and I have an exclusive for you that I have
Oh,
not announced yet, right here.
right now. Woo!
We are actually going to be adding another musical concert of sorts on Saturday during the day.
Wow.
So you can look out for that on the event schedule. We're going to get that on the schedule within the next 24 hours. So when you go to the page, you'll be able to see Saturday during the day, you're going to have an opportunity to enjoy some jazz. So
Ooh.
Ooh, I
we're
love it.
adding another little musical tribute to the event.
Awesome.
That is so cool.
Well,
Really.
we are so blessed to have had you on and with your presence and your wisdom and your knowledge and everything you've
And
learned.
you know, all the hard work that I know, we know you've put in after many hours where your eyes are bulging and you haven't eaten. And as we speak, you're chomping away, and I'm going, "Are you eating now?" Yeah, I can't. I'm so hungry.
I don't know. You all have called me so many times when I was eating.
Yes, yes. And I'm
Yeah,
always like, what are you eating, Elaine?
yeah.
Well, I'm having some, I think you said at one point, I think it was string beans or
Oh,
broccoli.
you want to know one thing that this event taught me last year?
What?
I did not know that I could enjoy cold string beans.
That's right.
But
That's
there was
me.
there was one day I was talking to you and they were like the best thing. I was so hungry. So yeah, I can enjoy cold string beans. I never knew that.
That's so awesome. I'm
I know.
so
I love string
happy.
beans. So I remember it very well.
Yes.
And then I just want to say that when we came on, we never said we're mother-daughter
Oh,
dynamic
that's
duo.
right.
I mean, because I was
Well,
so
it says
excited.
it says it, but
I
still.
can't see because I don't have my
Oh,
glasses
okay.
on.
Mother daughter.
And we
So-
also have an ebook.
Yes, we do.
So
we
if
have an
any-
ebook. Anybody that go ahead.
No, anybody that wants to get
Get
our
it.
ebook on, it's all about relationships, and it's a really great ebook, and it's for free, and all they have to do is
Well, we will
They-
give them in the comments if they want to put in the comments their email
Beautiful.
address.
right.
Then we can email it to them.
Correct. There it is. Look at us.
So put your email address in the comments, and then we will be able to get that out to you. That's our gift to you.
Yes.
That is so adorable. And I have to tell you all really quickly, last year during the event, you all did a session and my niece was there. And she had something that she was carrying for years. And you all coached her live right during the event, and she actually resolved something that was unresolved for her for years, and you all had like only a 30-minute session. So I just want to say I have witnessed, my family has personally benefited. I've heard other people testify to the fact that the work that you all do is beautiful, and you do help heal relationships, because I witnessed it. And then my niece called me to let me know. She says, I have to thank those ladies. So I just want you all to know that we appreciate the work that you do, your expertise, all the different certifications that you have, all the things that you bring into the world. Thank you very much for what you've done for me, for what you've done for my family, and for what you do for our global wellness community. Thank
Well,
you.
it's
We
such an
thank
honor.
you.
It's such an honor. You have no idea.
And I'm
However
so
we
happy we
can.
helped your niece.
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
remember
I
it
do
was a
remember that
really,
too.
yes,
Yes.
it was.
So because of that, how much time do we have this year? A little more?
So here's the problem. You all made this event so popular that now so many more people came out of the woodworks, and we are now running with a wait list.
Well, we're
So
happy that
that
that's the
that's
news.
that's because of you all.
Well, we're
Well,
happy that that's occurring.
we
So,
plan on being with you all the way to the top, Cookie.
yes.
Let's do this.
We are going to do it collectively, all of
Yes.
us. We're going
That's
to
the
rise
beauty
to
in
the
it.
top.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%.
So
So
thank you, Miss Elaine.
thank you, my love.
We
And
love you.
what can I say from
I
our
love you
heart
too.
To yours.
to your heart? We love you. And just take that in, because we really do love you. You're just a beautiful soul.
Until we meet again on the
Yes.
call with another meal. We enjoy it.
Yes.
I find it so much fun to do that with you, by the way, because we're foodies.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
So we love you, sweetheart, and we look forward to seeing you and being with you in the MAPS Global Summit.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
Yes,
bye
I
for
love
now.
you too. Thank you.